Testing, testing, 1, 2, and 3. All right, so mic's on. Oops. All right, so looking around today, the one that I saw leading in volume is IVF. It's only up 45% with 11 million shares on it. 11 million shares. Let's go and look into why this thing is up. So IVF or INVO fertility, INVO. Let's look back at its news back here. Okay, confirms corporate name change and new trading symbol in connection with this recent merger, Naya Biosciences. So that was after a merger, bispecific antibody, did a public offering in January, announced its nomination of new board members, did a 1-for-12 reverse stock split effective pre-market March 18th. Biosciences strategic decision to separate fertility and oncology businesses into distinct operations. Company renamed to Invo Fertility, and then Invo Fertility confirms new NASDAQ trading symbol of IVF. Okay, so institutional ownership 16%. Let's see who's in here. Nobody has a whole bunch, that's for sure. Bank of America reported 3 shares held, 21 shares. Uh, it looks like these companies actually sold some coming to the end of last year. Let's see. Okay, so let's go over here and look. Okay, so it's located in Florida, was founded in 2007. Invo Fertility Inc., a life science portfolio company, develops clinical stage assets to treat patients with fertility, oncology, and autoimmune diseases. The company operates in 2 divisions, Naya Women's Health and Naya Therapeutics. Um, its lead product includes NY303, a GPC3 targeted Flex NK bispecific antibody that is in phase 1-2 clinical trials for hepatocellular carcinoma, as well as solid and pediatric tumors. Okay, an NY338, a CD38 targeted flex NK bispecific for myeloma and autoimmune disease. Okay, so it's cancer in fertility. Okay, going with these statistics here. Float is under 1 million. Insiders and institutions, it says 13 to 16%. Yeah, neither one of them is really winning there. Let's go to holders over here. Yeah, it says the same thing. Not a whole lot of on that one. Market watch. Let's see what we got here. 233. Float under a million. NASDAQ trading symbol. All right. Okay. Was anything supposed to be happening today as far as speakers? Let's see. On the 30th, I don't think anything happens at the end of the month like this, right? Yeah, nothing crazy. Last day of the month. Oh, speaking of, this is the last day of the month. So if you're protecting your profits, well, this is the last day that you'll need to do it for this month. This one's up 11 million shares. Let's go and look at the NQ. So back a little bit. Okay, so yesterday, in the Discord, we were talking about this level of the 9,650. And during the day, it doesn't look like it actually ended up hitting it during the day. And in the afternoon, let's see. So it didn't hit it until 1 o'clock yesterday. At 650 level. And it shows some rejection there. So again, it's going to have to make a choice. Does it want to get over 650 strong, or does it want to come back down here and test these 19,400 levels? Either way it goes, pretty interesting. Marvel, don't know. Yeah. So we're just going to have to kind of see about all of this. IBF has a bottom down here of the 215s right now, and no current news on the day, on the last day of the month. So, but it is up 44%, but it is cheap to be only up 44%. You know, it's a $2 stock. Usually these can get up a lot more. The top of this was 331. Has a point of control here at 277. And we'll see if it can drag that point of control down. It already looks like a bunch of volume was traded down here around 227. So, but a lot of people got on board or got off. I don't know if they got on or off or something around 277. Good morning, Danielle. You guys are seeing anything else? Definitely throw it in the chat and we will look at it. Right now, I'm just looking for the top volume movers, and right now IVF is leading in the volume game. Well, my XRX is doing okay. I wish it would pull back, but just continue to just go on up there. I'm green on it, of course, but I want to add. And then also still waiting on XOXL. There's going to be any more dipping to the $10. Oil at 59.88. We talked about that $60 level. And so this was the point that I was talking about too. What was this? 2 days ago. So this was 1, 2. Yeah. So we were looking at this little trend that it was setting up, but it hadn't confirmed yet. So I like to see it touch 3 times. It said 1 right here around 61-ish. 2 came up to 61 again, and now this one broke that level, consolidated, and just started trending down. So I was like, okay, well, that's not a good trend, right? So that one is invalidated. Whoops, what did I just do? I did remove drawing. But yeah, that oil one was invalidated. Oil coming on down, 59 bucks. And this one, I don't have a true ATR for it. It says the ATR is $1.36, but I don't think that's right. Because if we look back, it has not been moving a dollar or something, $1.36. This one went from 188 to 144. This one, it went all the way up to 548 and then swooped down. Let's go look at the larger time frames, because this larger time frame chart is looking kind of nasty. So IVF, if any retail traders were to come in and look at this chart, right, what are they going to think? You're going to think, what in the world happened to this thing? Had to be something real weird. So it closed yesterday at 138 and now is at, what's the top of this? 257. 257 there. So I guess the question would be, can it get over that 257? But the volume is coming in so slow, I don't know what it can do. It's close. It's 20 cents away from 257. It was above it for a little bit. Just couldn't quite hold it up. Couldn't quite hold it up. Market starting off today red. Only thing that is green is the inverse SOXS on my watch list. So we'll see if we can find anything that does not care about the market going down, that is actually bumping upward as the market's going down. As this previous bottom down here of 19,487. We'll see how it holds, but as of now, the point of control is under the ATR low, so I'm thinking bearish. Majority of the trading has happened down here. So I'm thinking bearish. As of now. Now, if it comes to 30 minutes from now and then it pops all the way back up here to 9,600 and starts ramping up, well, the bias will switch, but that's going to take a lot of work. And right now, the bias is definitely looking like it wants to flow downward. I only took a small trade on OMH yesterday. Nothing crazy. I just saw it come into this descension right into the ATR highs. Whoops, where'd it go? This descending level here. So I saw it make this move, a lot of chop and all of that stuff. And then I saw it come up here and get shoved down without a really big topping tail up here. It's just a long body, but no really distinct top and tail up here. This one is what? 385. This little tail is 380, like 385 up to 397. So about a 10-cent top and tail. Came down, had a little lunch up, but I just didn't buy that one because I that's kind of, I didn't know if shorts were still in control. Was it going to take out this whole candle back up to the upside or what? Kind of hard to tell. And then they got another sell off. Boom. Big long candle, right? I was like, okay, well, the ATR high was right down here and it was literally right in line with the point of control at the $3 level. So I was like, okay, let me just see it come down and test that 3. It dropped down. It dropped down, got a little wick back up, and that was, I was looking at that, I was like, somebody got them some buys right there at that 390 level. And it popped back up, and then on the next candle, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and take this trade, and I took the trade on this candle here, and I said if it breaks down this level of the 290, I'm out. And so I had an average price of 296. So about a 6-cent risk there, and it bounced back up here to the 308s, and that's where I was taking majority of my profit. And I was out on that candle. I didn't really hold too long. I had 61. Actually, no, I wasn't out. I had 61 shares still in on this candle, and I was taking some up here, and then it dropped and stopped me out there. So I was like, okay, cool. But then during the rest of the day, it chopped down, chopped back up. You know, it was kind of choppy. So, but the whole day was kind of choppy. So it wasn't like I was extracting gold out here. Okay, IVF, another red candle. Yeah, that's it. It just doesn't have the volume, man. It's not looking good. Wish something else would pop up. But I got my alarm set if they do. Jump back over here. Let's go see what the headline news is for today. Or we're just okay. M&A accelerates worldwide, but not in the U.S. in the new Trump era. U.S. deal breaking or deal making is having the slowest start to the year since 2023, while volume outside U.S. soars. U.S. stock futures stall with big tech earnings, key data on deck. Corporate earnings paint two different pictures of U.S. consumer. Two different pictures of U.S. consumer. What is that talking about? What is that talking about? 3 ways people are still spending as consumers fear recession. This is the takeaway. Let's see. So this guy, chart of the day. Investors should be forgiven if they are confused over the state of the American consumer. First view props. So the first view props up a consumer largely unaffected by the trade war swirling around them. Things are going fine. Actually, some management teams seem to be saying with consumers staying disciplined and not overextending shopping habits. Well, things are going fine. Actually, some management teams seem to be saying with consumers staying disciplined and not overextending shopping habits through this lens are at a healthy levels. Some companies noted this may be the case because consumers still have their jobs. Let's see. While weeks of soaring consumer surveys have underscored a more pessimistic mood and fears of economic downturn, businesses that nonetheless retain workers. Labor Department data published Tuesday showed job openings in March hovered near four-year low. Second view of the consumer, according to RBC report, more closely tracks the downbeat surveys. In this wave of quarterly announcements, consumer companies have adopted a more negative tone on spending. Executives observe shoppers engaging in value-seeking behavior, like frequenting less expensive merchants or trading down to store brands. Okay. So one is saying things are okay for people that's got jobs. Another one's saying, well, people are getting more selective with what they're spending, which makes sense, right? People are like, I don't think I need that name brand thing. I'm just trying to eat. Let's see. What's the third one? They said 3. Big ticket items are rushing to get ahead of tariff upcharges. So they're holding off on buying big ticket items like houses. Yeah. Like any cars or anything, they're just chilling. Billing accounts, let's see, until hard data on inflation growth. I didn't see the third one. Did I skip it? Second view. They also know how uncertainty is influencing how people spend. Okay, we just did that. March retail. The more downcast point of view. Okay, so here's the third one. This one was kind of short. More downcast point of view is bolstered by the latest consumer survey released by the Conference Board on Tuesday, showing consumer confidence fell for the 5th straight month in April, dropping to its lowest level since the early days of COVID-19. As my colleague, the dueling accounts of unbothered consumption on the one hand and the more cautious spending on the other could have a income dimension behind it. With lower earners pulling back and more affluent households shelling out. That's what's happening. Stock market came down and boy, people spending. I see something else popping up. JFBR just popped on my scan. It's $1.21. What in the world is this? 41. So let's go look at the news for JFBR. This is this 15-minute chart right here. Let's go see. Do you have some news, JFBR? Only 5 million shares traded, but whoa, what? We're sorry. Sorry. Don't be sorry. Be right. Let's try you again. JFBR. There. All right. So Jeff Brands Limited ordinary shares press releases. 24 minutes ago, Jeff Brands enters a definitive agreement to sell key U.S. assets to Canadian public company for an approximate valuation of $11.8 million. Okay. The transaction includes the acquisition of Jeff Brands' wholly owned subsidiary Smart Repair Pro and its approximately 49.1% ownership interest in SciSpark Nutraceutical Inc. by a Canadian public company in exchange for an up to 90% equity interest on a fully diluted basis. Okay, okay. Let's see what this one looks like on the bigger charts. Yeah, it does look like something happened yesterday. Somebody knew something. Now let's go over here to Yahoo, JFER. Has an ATR from yesterday of 11 cents. Statistics. We're looking at a float of 1.7 million. Insiders holding 12%. Institutions holding 0.62%. Profile. Where are you located? Oh man, this is an Israeli stock. Well, there goes the bathwater. All right. JFBR, Israeli stock. I'm put that in my notes. Over here. Not gonna dig too deep into that one. We already know how that goes. Good morning, Lori Lee. We are here, shaking down the market, seeing what she has for us. The NASDAQ and everything else is kind of still just floating around at 9,500. But I'm thinking I want to see how it reacts to this level here, 19,484. Came down to this low during this period. Can it break this, or is it going to actually hold it? That's my level of interest right there. What's going to happen there? And then from there, try to trade something that makes sense. But it is the last day of the month, so it's like no rush. And performance-wise during pre-market, JFBR is up, but it's an Israeli stock, and Israeli stocks and Chinese stocks kind of do wild things when you least expect it. Israeli stocks get super choppy. Chinese stocks can blow up, but they can have some really bad halt downs. So either way it goes, there's a higher level of risk with them to get chopped up or to get faded. Right now it's up 38%, and 38% for this cheap one, it's going to have to probably put in some more work. And the catalyst isn't to just, great. It's catching up with IVF pretty quickly though. IVF only has 12 million and JFBR is already to 8 million as people take more interest in it. The point of control down here is still at the 106 though, has not moved that up. And this is what a lot of those Israeli stocks look like. They have these long wicks that just don't make sense. They'll break highs, pull back, break highs, pull back. And usually it's a quick break and then a quick fail. So we'll see if that's the same sentiment on this one. Almost 9 million shares traded. So I think this one's going to become the leader on the day. And if it is the leader on the day, you already know I'm sitting back, waiting to see if something else comes and takes the day. Not seeing anything over $5 that's moving just yet. Yeah, I think it's gonna take over on the day. There's a quick little stab back. I've seen these. It's like all of the Israeli stocks trade the same, man. Even if they're good and they have good catalysts, like they got some kind of new equipment or new weapon or something like that, they all just are so indecisive. Just big wicks to either side. So they're horrible for quick scalping. But we'll see what happens to this one during the day. Right now it has a ATR high here at 96 cents, and we'll see if it can stay above that 96 cents. It's almost a 10 million shares traded. All right, 10 million shares on the board. 2 million shares to engulf IVF. And this one is up 47%. All this volume and still the point of control sits at 106. Yeah, there it is. Let's see if it'll give red on this one. Get under the 120s. Coming up on 11 million shares traded. Hmm. Kind of pausing here. Is it gonna make the longs nervous and slam, or is it gonna actually fake out the shorts and try again? It's got about 10 minutes left on this candle, and it's doing the knife motion that we see with most Israeli stocks. Big push, knife down. Big push, knife down, knife down. 11 million shares traded. They're right. They're neck and neck right now. IVF and JFBR. It's about to take the day. I'm not seeing anything above 5 that's moving with any kind of gusto as far as trying to catch up. I really didn't want this one to lead the day, but it's just giving me that signal. Like, yo, put the brakes on, pump the brakes. So after stopping everybody out, what is it gonna do? 45% on the board. Very thickly traded at this point. We look over here on the level twos. Let me see, am I zoomed out all the way? Um, it's almost like it's just stuck at this level of 123, just a war zone in between there. War zone. So 123, and where's the big size up here? Not seeing it. 123. Yeah, I missed it. Somewhere. Still has not caught up in volume to IVF. Five minutes left on this 15-minute candle, and it looks like it's completing that knife look. There's a little bit of red. Yep, it looks like it's going to end up passing IVF here if more shorts come over here for this one. Only got 400 shares to go to catch it. 300 shares to go. More people are about to be watching this channel than the other one. All right, 100,000 shares to go, and it's about to take the lead here. Yep, just took the lead, and so now, hey, everything's going to be competing with JFBR, an Israeli stock that is throwing some knives up in the air. Who will catch the falling knives from this crazy juggler? All right, NQ going down to that level that I was wondering about. 19,486. I want to see what kind of reaction this has. It has about we got what, an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 15 to the open. I want to see what kind of reaction this thing has, and can it stay below this ATR low to continue a downwards move. This candle, 15-minute candle, is about to close. Top and tails we got to take note of. Breaking and then reversing back into the previous struggle range. 30 seconds left on this candle. Doesn't mean it's done going up. We just have to take note of this choppiness during pre-market, because it probably won't get any better during the open. Pre-market is when they can push stuff to the moon without halts or any kind of really restrictions. So if they're gonna make that initial move clean, they'll make it during pre-market. All right, point of control just jumped up to 123. Now our candles are getting smaller. So this first one was from 81 cents all the way up to 137 and then pulled back. So the body ended here at 103. So about 20 cents. Then this next one from 104 up to 124 and pulled back. So about another 20 cents. And this one 113 up to 130. And the actual body was 23 to 17s. But the ATR from yesterday was 11 cents. So not a huge ATR, not a huge average true range on this one. Point of control at 114 right now. But it is leading the day in volume. So I want to see this one fail out first. And then we'll see if anything else can come and grab the reins. And this one, so I've seen a couple of these like this IVF where I'm looking at it, it has a nice little sell-off. It's had two little sell-off, try to get up, and then another kind of sitting point. And one mistake that I always make on this one is disregarding this initial move back, or this initial top and tail here on these cheaper ones. I'll see this and I'll say, you know, this means nothing. And what we'll see on these cheaper ones is a lot of times they'll just rip down with no explanation, no anything, especially on weak news like in vivo. This is just a split of, they basically had one company that was doing cancer research and fertility, and they just cut it in half. They made it two different entities, right? And so it's like, okay, they didn't make any more money. They just basically split the name, split them into two. So what would be the purpose? What would buyers gain or gain from holding this thing upward? So this is one of those stocks that I think is going to make one of those crazy moves down. Just a prediction that it's going to, a over the ones that I've seen, it's going to break this 214 and make a nice move down and catch some people off guard. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen to that one. But yeah, I may be wrong. It may come back up here and try to get over this 253 or whatever, but I just don't see buyers coming in here on that catalyst to do that. It would be a crazy move, but just can't see it. Can't see it. And then JFBR is continuing to suck up volume as well. So, mm, JFBR with more wicks. No surprise. Broke the body of this bottom candle of the 117. Okay, we did hit it. Okay, so this was where that level was that I said, hey, maybe it can test this level, 19,400. It got below the ATR low, so I'm thinking bearish. And now, it's broken this previous level, which may become some type of something. But I mean, we can see everything right here. So we got a major level down here, 19,400, that's been tested multiple times. 1, 2, 3. Tested 3 times there, and now we got this one coming back to test this 19,400. Will it hold as some type of support? Is the question. This first level of support, which hasn't been tested much, broke. So I would say strap in for the ride, I guess. But things could, on the open, there may be some people that have orders out there and it may pop back to 19,500 real quick. As long as it stays under this ATR low, I'm pretty bearish on the market today. ATR low is all the way back up here at 19,574. So that's almost $100 move there. So I don't know if it can just make that up in an instant at the open, unless there's some really good news. But this is the last day of the month too. That's the other thing. Will people really jump in front of something like this, and try to stop it? China creates list of U.S. goods spared from the 125% tariffs. Let's see what that list is looking like. Did I not click on it? Okay. Trump tariffs live updates. China eases tariffs on select U.S. goods as Trump says Beijing will eat the cost. On Wednesday, it was reported that China had quietly compiled a list of U.S.-made goods exempt from its 125% tariffs, aiming to ease trade tensions without public concessions. Companies, particularly those relying on U.S. technologies such as pharmaceuticals and chip makers, are being discreetly informed about these exemptions, Reuters reported. The list appears to be expanding. For instance, China recently waived tariffs on U.S. ethane imports or ethane imports. This approach allows Beijing to maintain a firm public stance while offering behind-the-scenes relief. Reports emerged last week that China quietly rolled back tariffs on some U.S. semiconductor products, easing pressure on its tech sector. Meanwhile, President Trump defended the 145% tariffs on Chinese imports, saying China deserves it and would likely eat the cost to shield U.S. consumers. He dismissed inflation concerns even as companies like Temu and Shein or Shine, visibly pass costs on to shoppers. His comments contrast with quieter moves inside the administration to consider phase tariff reductions and revive trade talks with Beijing, though no formal negotiations have begun. But with 145% tariffs on China now in place for several weeks, cargo shipments have dropped dramatically, with estimates suggesting a 60% decline per Bloomberg. Experts are warning of coming supply shortages and layoffs in sectors like trucking, logistics, and retail. How the US China trade war blew up. Okay. This is crazy. This is going to be in our history books, years from now, right? February 1st is going to be like a little chart like this, and our kids are going to be like, what? What is this? Let's see. So how the U.S.-China trade war blew up. Timeline: February 1st, days after taking office, Trump imposes a new 10% tariff on all Chinese imports. That's on top of existing tariffs from his first term and from the Biden era. February 4th, China retaliates with a 15% tariff on U.S. coal and liquefied natural gas, and 10% tariff on crude oil and agricultural machinery. Hold up, Donnell said, Scan is telling me to stay away today. Need that one stock to light the market back up. Yep. And I don't know if it's going to happen today on the last day. Haven't seen anything with that catalyst to, be like, oh man, that's that thing that's going to make the short sweat. March 3rd, Trump raises U.S. tariff on Chinese imports another 10%, cumulative new tariff 20%. China counters with a 15% tariff on U.S. chicken, wheat, corn, cotton, and 10% tariff on sorghum, soybeans, pork, beef, aquatic products, fruits, vegetables, and dairy products. Okay. All right. So eventually we got to, 100 something percent, right? So now they're in trade talks trying to lessen the tariffs on some U.S. imports and exports that we send to China. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. It says, meanwhile, some tariff relief is on the way for automakers after Trump signed an order offering exemptions to certain car and parts tariffs. The order clarifies that companies already paying tariffs on imported vehicles won't be charged other levies, such as on steel. And that's why a lot of steel companies were happy. The U.S. also eased duties on foreign parts. The climb down comes after intense lobbying for the auto industry, which warned of a huge hit to sales and price hikes for consumers. On Trump's 100th day in office, administration officials also look to play up progress with other countries. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick on Tuesday claimed the U.S. and one unnamed country were on the doorstep of a trade deal. Besant said the U.S. was very close to a deal with India. Okay. We'll see. We shall see. I just want to be positioned, man. Want to be positioned here. Wall Street banks have finally rid themselves of Musk X debt. Okay. Norwegian cruise earnings miss tariff. Microsoft vows to fight U.S. pressure on EU data center expansion. Old wisdom of sale in May back in focus. Supermicro, Yum Brands. Okay. All right. Bond market braces for potential summer turbulence. Okay. Let's go look at other news sources. This is just a Yahoo Finance. I just want to see what's on the front page because a lot of people don't read into these. They just look, especially retail. They just look at the the different headlines and going about their day, right? But I like to click into them and kind of get some details on what's going on inside. Even if it is highly opinionated, I'm going to cross-reference it as well with other sources and kind of see, hey, what's going on over here? What's going on over here? Before I be like, oh man, this is just law, All right. So back over to the charts. IVF did do that little a little fall off. I don't know how far it's going to go, but this is what I was talking about. Weak catalysts. I usually ignore this topping tail and get caught in a nice flush. But this one came down to 207. I don't know if it's done going down. Like I said, JFBR. Again, this one's been doing the whole knife Israeli thing and chopping people up. So it has a high up here of 138. Very hard to read here on this Israeli stock. Spent a lot of time just kind of like what looked like consolidation and then blast off. And we don't know when the next knife comes here. But it's up 58% with 16 million shares. Small breakout there. So we should, a lot of the breakouts on these knife back. So let's see if it does that. So it hit the 138. Will it knife back down here to like 130? $140s. Let's see that knife. You know you want to. You just collecting souls up there. You know you want to knife down. Anyway, looking at what we see during this pre-market, JFBR and IVF, like Donnell said, today is one of those days where it's like, okay, if this is what's going to be leading, do I want to be following? Right? I mean, you could put your tinfoil hat on and your helmet and go at it, but I think that today some observations, some further analysis is due to actually take a trade on any of this stuff. Not saying I'm going to trade at GFBR or whatever, but looking for something better than this. Do I want to risk something, to make the month worse when, I mean, we got a whole nother month coming up, right? Look how choppy this thing is on a breakout. Imagine trying to hold this and being like, please just don't knife down to 130. Please just continue going up, please, and break this 140, please. And then it knifes down. It's like, man, come on, bro. Trash. Okay, let me also go back over here real quick to the NQ. So we hit this low down here, and like I said, point of control is definitely below the ATR low. Nice little bearish movement. What in the world's happening there? It's kind of slinging around there. Had a previous bottom here of the 19,412. That level that had been tested 8 times here is that 19,400 flat. So it's a little bit of reaction down here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop it from getting back through that 19,400. There seems to be some tension easing because of the tariff deals. So, if it does go down, I'll be expecting some type of upward movement, maybe to the end of this week or into next week. If trade deals get better and ease up, I think we could definitely see some better days. But for now, we're kind of just sitting in limbo in the small cap world. And I'm not seeing anything on large mid caps that are getting a whole bunch of volume right now. So definitely just sitting in expectation for sure. 19,412. Man, that's a big wick, man. JFBR, let's see where are you at now? Like I said, getting back to that 130, holding people's soul hostage up here at the highs and then knifing down. That's a specialty of Israeli stocks. Welcome to the world of soul taking. All right. So this one tried to pull back up, but the volume is just getting left behind by JFBR. Too many eyes are over here on JFBR right now. It needs to go ahead and fill out if anything else is going to happen on today. Got room all the way back to the 30-cent move back down. Point of control still sitting at that 123. $130. Go ahead and snap the neck of 130. Get back down here to this point of control 123. It does this. It just makes you really, really uneasy about a position in this one because it's not clean. It's like, are we gonna break down? Are we gonna break up? Are we? Are we? And it'll do it 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, and then go. It'll make you move your little stop up, move it up, you're trailing, and then all of a sudden, snap back, now you're out with a loss. And this one just grinding on down, nice and clean and slow. NQ, where did you end up going, buddy? Okay, so there is this level that has been tested 8 times. So I got over here 8 previously tested, and now we're back here with a big test down. So I'm gonna go ahead and increase this one to nice 9 times. It's been tested plenty of times. Has the next level down here at the 19.3, 14 has been tested 3 times. So throwing a nice wick through there, and I'm looking at this in my head. I'm like, yo, this is pretty bearish. This is pretty. Even if it does pop up, it's got a lot of work to do to get out of this this little jam up, right? So that's why we like to come in and pre-market, see what the market's doing. You know, bearish, bullish, and what we would like to see is a small cap that doesn't care about the market. So the market's going down and it's bumping up no matter what. That's what we want to see. Problem is the two that are up right now that are green have super weak catalysts. I mean, just catalysts we don't want to touch. Here's another breakout. Is it gonna knife again? So small breakout here from 140 up to 140. A 1 cent breakout. Okay. Yeah. Almost 20 million shares traded on this one. What's up, Drifter? Oh, yeah. I'm guessing nothing else is really popping right now because it probably would have been on scans by now. All of this volume floating around. Well, if you're short on things in the market, you looks like you might be doing pretty good on today. For now, we'll see. It is holding down this level of 19,400 and looking like it wants to continue downward. So will it confirm some type of, okay, we had a previous trend down here. Stop point there, 1, 2. Will it confirm some type of trend right here though? So it had this previous bottom. Where would this trend be? Let me zoom in because y'all probably can't see that. So basically I just I took this little dip and this little dip, which was a higher low. I want to see, does it stop at this point or does it just go on through? And right now it is like right there. I wouldn't even try this. I would want to see where it's going to go. It has a previous level down here of 19,314 to see if it can bounce back up. But we got about an hour left to the open. And yeah, the market is definitely not just milking down. It's drizzling down. But yeah, Drifter, everything's been good. You know, just taking some time in the market. Really, I've been taking a lot of long-term positions as the market has been acting wacky. Majority of my, or not majority, all of my long-term positions are green right now. Actually, speaking of, let me go look at the Coinbase. Not Coinbase. What's it called? TradingView. Let's see what that old Bitcoin, what Bitcoin's out here doing. Is it going up as the market's going down? It's just sitting. Okay, I'm okay with that. Wait until next month to make any more deposits. I want to kind of see how this month closes. And if it is going to be downwards, it's going to probably allow me some more opportunity to buy some more next month. I'm still looking for XOXL under 10. And right now, this is what XOXL is looking like. It had a bottom here at 1140. And I still want to see it. You know, it had a little punch up, and I was like, you know what? I missed the entry that I wanted down there at, what was it at? Like $6, 689. I was like, man, I missed that. And it went from 689 and now up to 11. But I don't think it's done. I don't think it's done. So that's what I'm waiting on now. But interesting place for it to be in between these two previously tested levels here. 1914. And it did a lot of work trying to hold up this 1914 too. Came up here once, kind of bundled on it, fell. Came up here above it, made it look like support, went up, failed. Came up above it again, was off of it, touched the top, tried to bundle up, failed back to it. So multiple times this thing has tried to make this 19400 a support, and it has failed every time. And now it is touching this point that I was talking about. Could be some type of trend, but with this moving right here, I will wait. I'm not sure if that is a trend or if it's just gonna break down through this 93400, 9, oh my gosh, 19314. That's what I was trying to say. All right. Looks like JFBR continuing to take souls. Man, somebody's got to be red on this thing. Unless you get in a hole, this thing has been a shaky, shaky train ride. Breaking out, chopping. Breaking out, chopping. Insanity. 21 million shares traded. And nothing new popping on the scans. Yeah, I think I'm with Donnell on this one. I'm just going to sit on my fingertips today because this is not what we like to see. And not even one 15-minute pullback with all of this knife action. One of these knives is going to be a real knife and it's going to come down. And if we look at where it started from the close of yesterday, 80 something cents, you know, it's only up, what, less than $1 really. Moving up, let's see, this is 150 coming up. 151. Let's look on the larger time frame and see where it could head to. Okay, so 282 all the way up there. But it doesn't have the catalyst, it doesn't have the gasoline for that. And we're down here at 150 something. This little star right here. 155. Yeah, nothing really looking super significant there. Looking back at the chart. Yeah. I don't know. Doesn't peg me as something that's going to be getting over $2 today. But it could during pre-market. Throwing up wicks. No pullbacks. $172. So it started or it closed yesterday with the ATR of 20 or of 11 cents. Today this is probably going to jump up to like maybe 20, 30 cents on this move. And we'll see if it goes through shrinkage and shrinks back to the 11 cents. Let's look at the 1 minute and see what people saw in the 1 minute on this. Okay, so let's look at how many fakes it had. So 1 minute came up here, 127, 102, small little bit up, knife. Smaller with a lower high, moved down to 104. Moved up to the point of control, down. So each time it was like, oh, we're gonna break, we're gonna break, we're gonna break. So anybody that was doing breakout trades probably got cooked on this. Anybody that was buying low for these little quick pops are the ones that made the money. 103 up to 113, so that's almost 10 cents. This dip right here, 104, rode up here to 115, so maybe 10 cents there. Definitely you have to be okay with taking 5 to 10 cents for sure. Little knockdown here, 111 up to 119. Yeah, like 5-cent moves is what you would need to be trying to take here. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we're going to do a break of this level right here, 139. Right? And on this 139 break, it did a fake. I know this got some people on that 139. And then it tried again and didn't go. So that's 2 times. And people probably like, oh, man, this thing isn't going. And then on the third go, it gave up, let's see, 140. So about a 40-cent move up there. Let's go to the 5 minute. Five minutes. Looks like it was getting killed and just forced its way back up. Yeah, same thing, a little downwards pattern there, and then right there was the break. Then on the 15 minute, just looks like this. The reason I like the 15 minute is when I see a pattern like, let me go back to 5 minute. When I see a pattern like, well, this one didn't even do a pattern that I like. Let me see. Let's go back to IVF and see if it has something over here. Not really. Neither one of these had patterns I like. Okay, on their lower time frames. Let's go to the 1 minute. Trying to give an example, but yeah, not a whole lot of example quality out here. Okay, whatever. Up 103% now. It's 747. All right. So again, if this one's going to be leading the day, I'm just going to let it do its thing and wait for some better quality, maybe on another day. You know, I'm good with taking a no trade day if the risk is not manageable. You know, this thing's faking and breaking and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm cool. Oh, NQ still going down. Still going down here. All right, so this is the level that I thought was going to become some type of trend, but yeah, it broke down both of these levels, 19,400 and the 19,300. So let's look at what SOXL is doing. It is coming back within range of the $10, which is where I was saying before. I'm looking for it to get back under that 10. So, I mean, all I got to do is be patient. I'm going to make money anyway and wait for this thing to break down because, I mean, I'm just ready to buy at this point on my long-term positions. These day trades, you know, they account for a little bit, but yeah, the most money is going to come from getting those good trades on the long term, getting those good dividend paying stocks that alleviate any losses. But yeah, that's kind of where what I'm doing. I'm about to get ready for this meeting here coming up in 10 minutes. Appreciate you guys for tuning in for sure. If you're going to continue to trade, definitely keep in mind everything we looked over. The market looking quite bearish, but that doesn't mean anything. It's pre-market, so we don't know what's going to happen, what news is going to drop. But I'm just being patient on this one today. JFBR went up there to 100%, came back under, you know, hitting that 102's level. It threw a wick up there at 184. I don't know if it's going to get back up there. It's already done one wick with the knife, but this is a smaller wick, and we haven't seen any big knife movements down. So I'm going to be definitely expecting that coming into the open, that big move down on this JFBR. Anyway, appreciate you guys once again. I'm going to be back next or tomorrow pre-market. I don't think we have any kind of holidays. So yeah. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.